Hello everyone, thank you all very much for tuning into another video. I am RiderPride639, but before we get started, I just wanted to throw this quick reminder out to you all. Make sure that you do like the video, and don't forget to subscribe as well and turn on those notifications, because that'll let you know exactly when I post a new video. And absolutely leave a comment down below after the video of what you thought of today's topic, which is going to be an interesting one. Today we're going to be talking about the events over the weekend that happened with the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Crossplay Beta. So we've got a lot of stuff to cover, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into it. Make sure you guys watch the video all the way to the very end, because there may be some interesting topics that we'll talk about there as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. Alright guys, so here is what's going on. This is some gameplay that I recorded over the weekend for Call of Duty. So a lot of stuff to cover here. One of the things that I liked here is that they have a nice little set of operators already ready to be picked out for you. They have a couple of familiar ones such as Adler and Woods. So this is kind of a neat little thing. I imagine they will probably be adding more operators in the future, much like they did to Modern Warfare. If you check out the loadouts here, obviously you've got your score streaks that you can choose from. The nice thing about this particular section here is that whatever you choose, it's very similar to Modern Warfare. You pick the three that you want to take into battle with you, but you'll notice that the values on the bottom are a little bit different. That's why the reason why is because these are called score streaks rather than kill streaks. So throughout your gameplay, anything that you do in the course of a game is all going to contribute points towards these score streaks. And they do persist after death as well. So even if you do, start running up a bit of a good kill streak, and something unfortunate happens and you get killed, when you come back, you can still building up towards those maximum score streaks. And then once you hit your maximum score streak, you start at the bottom, you start building up again. But like I said, in terms of everything that you do with the score streaks, is ranging from everything from killing players to taking objectives to destroying other players' score streaks and field upgrades such as field mics, proximity mines, things of that nature. All of these things will get you points towards your next score streak. So that particular feature I really liked about the Cold War Beta. It makes the score streaks feel a little bit more rewarding, that you can keep getting to them rather than getting hit with a really bad run of bad luck where like say in Modern Warfare, you get to your UAV, you get to your cruise missile or your precision airstrike, and you're trying to build up towards that either that VTOL or the chopper gunner, or if you're really feeling brave, getting all the way up to the the kill streak where you get the juggernaut. You get so close and you're one kill off of getting that last score, or that last kill streak, and you get popped by a grenade, or you get caught by a camper or a sniper that just happens to catch you running around the corner at the wrong time. A lot of that stuff like that can be frustrating. Then you got to start over at the bottom. You got to build it all the way up again. With the score streaks, it doesn't do that. So even if you get one kill away from getting your final score streak, whether it be the support helo or the chopper gunner, you can respawn, you get to kill that one player, and that last few points will put you up and still let you get that final score streak, and then you can start over again. As for the rest of the gameplay, the graphics are actually pretty good. There's a lot of detail in the buildings and the surrounding environments. Like you can see the puddles of water, the shadows, the lighting in the sky, the waving leaves in the trees. So the graphics throughout the game are pretty good. So I have really no complaints about that. Aside from that, the gameplay itself is kind of something that we're going to get into here. This one is a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to opinions. We'll gladly get into the gameplay here. So the first thing that you're going to see here is we're going to be doing domination in Miami. So the gameplay itself, one of my personal gripes about the way that they have this built is the FOV. In Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I have my FOV settings set to 120, and when I'm running through, these areas, it feels like I'm like running super fast. Like I am zooming, like I'm going complete top speed. But the FOV in Black Ops Cold War really doesn't feel like that. I have it set up to 120 because I'm on PC. It really doesn't feel like I'm that much faster. And it doesn't feel like my FOV is really widened all that much. So I noticed that if I'm running, it feels like I'm kind of running at like a brisk jog almost, like not really zooming around the map like I was in Modern Warfare. Aside from that, the rest of it still feels okay. Movement isn't sluggish or choppy. It still feels all right. Next comes basically the gameplay, and this again is where one of the big topics that kind of splits a lot of streamers, content creators, and players alike is the gunplay. And the reason I say that is because of the way that these loadouts are able to be built. So between sniper rifles and assault rifles and SMGs, LMGs, there's far too many similarities to the point where they're almost identical between every gun. And one of the things that I'd like to note here is actually a member of the Right of Pride 639 community, goes by the name of Mattmon. You can find him on Twitter at Mattmon Gaming. Who said this: he's decided from his time playing the beta and the demo that he's not going to be purchasing the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, although he loves the way they went with the created class, which is something that we'll touch on after this topic. But the gameplay just feels really beige. All guns have similar attachments, graphics, and the sounds are a step back. And I actually agree with him on this. Like I was mentioning before, like when it comes to let's say for example, let's compare the Krig 6, the XM4, and the AK-47. These particular three assault rifles that were available in the beta are almost identical when it comes to their attachments and the way they feel and the way they sound. The only real noticeable difference is the way they look when you're holding on to them, which is to be expected. They're three completely different guns. But when it comes to their attachments and when you're creating the loadouts for them, this is where the similarities just become too similar. All of the optics are named the same. All of the grips are named the same. The muzzles, the barrels, the mags, the grips, the stocks, all of them have the exact same selection between them all. So I could kit out the XM4 with the Cobra red dot optic, with a 40-round speed mag, the Operator 4 grip, the tactical stock, and the agency suppressor. Those 5 attachments, in ad verbatim, I could attach those exact same 5 to the Krig 6. I can attach those exact same 5 to the AK-47. And to that point, you could almost say that you could put it on pretty much any gun in the game. So the SMG is going to have those very same attachments. The LMG is going to have those same attachments. The sniper rifles obviously are going to have some slight differences when it comes to their mags and their default scope, because the default scope on the sniper rifle is actually what you see here in this gameplay currently. This is the default scope that's on the Pellington 703. But that being said, that exact same scope is also on the LW3 sniper rifle. So there's no change between those two. The only difference is that the LW3 is mag-fed, whereas the Pellington 703 is breech-fed. But other than that, they're both bolt-action rifles, but they all have the same attachments. Same thing with the shotguns, although the shotguns, one is a pump action versus semi-auto. Again, all the attachments are the same, which includes the tubes, which includes the stocks, which includes the sights, it includes the muzzle attachments. All of that is all the same. So I definitely agree with Mattmon Gaming here in that the guns, there's no true variation between the guns. It's just one's an MP5 versus an AK-47. There might be some, some gameplay differences between those two in terms of, how the damage is doled out, I guess. But that being said, that's where we can go into talking about the creator class. And Mattmon said that was one of his favorite features. That is actually one of my favorite features as well. So when you first get into the game, before you start leveling your character up, when you get into your very, very first match, you have a list of 5 different classes to choose from, and they already have pre-built classes and pre-selected weapons, perks, attachments, throwables, and things like that for you, but just to get you started and get you going. Really, really like that feature. It's great that you can basically start with something other than just a stock gun, and things like that. So when it comes to the rest of the creative class, eventually over time you will be able to unlock custom classes, and you unlock them. I think you get the first 5 unlocked early on. I think it's like level 5 or level 10 or something like that. So very, very early on, you can start doing your custom classes, which is great. And then you unlock the remaining 5 classes for a total of 10 custom classes as you kind of progress through the game. The creative class is really, really cool in this because it does give you, much like Modern Warfare, you've got your whole list of guns that you have unlocked. So you've got your ARs, your SMGs, your LMGs, your rifles, and things like that. And then you have your secondaries, such as your pistols, your launchers. Shotguns are back into the secondary class now. So this one here, this one is not what we would normally call an overkill class. There is actually a wild card that you can get that you can run 2 primaries. But the shotguns are not a primary weapon anymore. They are a secondary, but there's only 2 to choose from. So there's this one here, which you see, which is the semi-automatic. It's the Gallo SA-12 versus the pump action shotgun. Excuse me. So yeah, so having the ability to create different classes, we're just not going to talk about that particular gameplay there, where I threw a Semtex grenade instead of my proximity mine. Yeah, just don't make a mention of that in the comments. Do make sure you mention that in the comments and give me a hard time about it. I'm just saying. Proximity mines are a field upgrade and not a lethal equipment, which you normally saw in Modern Warfare. The difference being that proximity mines, you can only have 1 until you earn enough. Field equipment is always on a timer, although there is a perk that you can have that actually speeds up the process by about 25%. Yeah, so you can see here I managed to pick up somebody else's gun. How some guy died there, I have no idea. But like I said, what you can see from the field of the different guns, like I said, they all feel the same. It's great that we can create custom classes. It's great that you can do a lot more customizations with them. When it comes to your perks, especially when it comes to wildcards. Wildcards, I think, is an absolutely amazing feature. Wildcards, there's 4 different ones that you can get currently, and they all do different things, such as giving you extra lethal and tactical equipment. So you can have 2 Semtex grenades, or 2 claymores, or 2 frag grenades, and then you can have 2 tacticals as well. So you can have 2 stuns, you can have 2 flashes, things like that. Another one is Gunfighter. Gunfighter allows you to go beyond the limit of 5 attachments on your primary weapon and have up to 8 attachments. So that is a really, really cool wild card, which is I don't know if that's ever been seen before. Hopefully that's something that they keep in the game, and I don't really think it needs any fine tuning, because I mean there's not much else you can do with your primary. But so if you want the optic, the barrel, the muzzle, the underbarrel, the mag, the stock, the grip, and the ammunition types, you can have all 8 attachments on one gun. So that's what the Gunfighter wildcard does for you. The third one that you can get I can't remember the name of it exactly off the top of my head, but it allows you to carry 2 primary weapons. And I think that one is called, I believe it's called Lawbreaker. So that one allows you to equip 2 primaries. So you can have an AR and an SMG. You can have a sniper and an LMG, things like that. So this particular combination is probably going to be one that you're going to see a lot of in... one that you're going to see a lot of in Warzone, so that way you can have your 2 primary weapons right off the hop. If it plays anything like Warzone, you can have your 2 primaries, and then you would get a second loadout, so that way you can have the right, have a proper, have the wild card that you want for your secondary, whether it be, take a gunfighter, so that way you can take a gun with 8 attachments. You can take the extra throwables. The last one that you get is called Perk Greed, and it allows you to equip 6 perks in total, 2 from each category. So very, very similar to how Call of Duty Modern Warfare worked. Perk Greed allows you to basically have 6 perks in total. Like I said, it's 2 from each category. So you have Category 1, Category 2, Category 3. Under normal circumstances, such as on this class here, you would normally see just 1 perk from each category for a total of 3. So the Perk Greed, like I said, allows you to carry 1 from each additional category, so you have a total of 6. So that's how that one works in particular. Really, really cool one. I think it's kind of neat. I'm just trying to think what else is there that I could talk about for things like that. Probably not a whole heck of a lot. The last thing that I would probably talk about here is again kind of the reaction for some of the other players, some of the other streamers, and particularly large content creators. Yeah, it took me a while to find that field mic, by the way. Yeah, no, unfortunately we lost that one. That's actually one change that I don't mind about Domination, is that it's actually split into 2 rounds. So the game goes up to 200 points, but you go to halftime after whoever reaches the first 100. Then you switch sides and you basically start the round all over again. Kind of a neat thing, actually. I like. You won't really see any of the other modes here in terms of the gameplay, which is kind of unfortunate. I was kind of hoping to get some really, really good gameplay from some of the other modes, but with the multiplayer aspect of it, so you see, Control was added late into the beta. Yeah, I went 16-10 there. That's not too bad. But Control was added late into the beta. For those of you who don't know what Control is, Control mode plays out very, very similar to... I guess it's almost like a cross between Demolition... Actually, no, it's pretty much almost exactly like Demolition from Modern Warfare. So there's 2 control points. One team attacks them, one team defends them. There are respawns, so it's not like Search and Destroy. But one of the things that they added to Control is you have a life pool. So each team starts with 30 lives. It's 6v6. Each team starts with 30 lives. And the game goes until either A, you destroy the opponent's control points, or B, your enemies hold you off long enough that your timer runs out, or C, whichever team loses their complete life pool first. So you don't even necessarily have to destroy your target or defend your target. If you kill the enemy enough times, they'll just run out of lives. Domination is still there. Team Deathmatch is still there. Kill Confirmed is still there. And Hardpoint is still there. So those particular modes, none of those have changed from Modern Warfare. Don't mind my driving here. This is my first time driving a vehicle in Cold War. So we're just not gonna we're not gonna talk about that, and we're not gonna make fun of my my snowmobile driving skills. Please don't. Let's not talk about it, okay? Let's not talk about my aim here either. This is another one of the modes that they did add, which is called Combined Arms VIP Escort. So again, this is a kind of a 6v6 thing where one team is an attacking and the other team is the VIP. So on the VIP team, 5 players have their loadouts. 1 player is randomly designated the VIP. where they get a pistol and I think a spy plane. And their objective is to get to either one of the 2 extraction points and get out safely before the other team kills them. And then you, as the attacking team, you basically have to try and kill the VIP, which we did right here, and you'll actually see it. I didn't kill the VIP. One of the other teammates did, but I did lay down some suppressing fire there. So as you can see, there's the VIP wearing the baseball cap. If the VIP dies, that's it. The round is over. So this particular game mode actually wasn't too bad at all. I actually think this is kind of an interesting game mode and an interesting take on almost like a combination team deathmatch, because you can down players, and you can revive players as well. So as you saw there, you saw players go down, and you eventually do have to clean them. Otherwise, they can be revived by teammates. So that's kind of a neat thing too. There's a little bit of a Warzone mechanic in there. Excuse me. Going back onto the topic about, like I said, this is one of the things that they showed off during the big alpha reveal when they had a lot of the streamers there. But when it comes to streamers and content creators, like I said, there is still a bit of a split crowd. And I apologize for kind of getting off track when I was mentioning this before, but you start taking a look at, let's take a look at, actually, there was an article that was done on Dexerto that highlighted probably 2 really, really famous streamers that likely a lot of you are familiar with, and that is Nick Mercs and Swag. And they were not happy with how the beta went. They were really, really not pleased with the gameplay, with how the game felt, and they basically said that the game was below average. So they simply just were not happy with the game at all. They weren't planning on streaming it. By the sounds of it, doesn't plan like they were planning on purchasing it if they hadn't already. But ultimately, they were just very, very disenfranchised. Well, and I wouldn't even necessarily say disenfranchised with it, but they were very, very disappointed with how the beta played out for them. I know that Nick Mercs and Swag are both console players. I believe they both play on PlayStation. If anybody wants to correct me in the comments, if I'm wrong on that, please feel free to do so. But I do believe that they are exclusively console players. I don't believe either one of them play on PC. And that's neither here nor there. I think honestly the gameplay between PC console, or PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One consoles really didn't make that much of a difference. Aim assist is still a thing for consoles, and honestly, actually, that being said, I think that's actually one thing that I believe they really, really need to tune. I think that aim assist on consoles was very, very overtuned, almost to the point where it felt like it almost felt like they were getting aim bots in matches. It seemed like the aim assist was snapping on the targets a little too aggressively. Yeah, unfortunately, I get pistol whipped by a guy because I couldn't find my target. So, again, not going to talk about it. But yeah, aim assist is definitely still a thing, but something that I feel that they need to work on. Like I said, because I believe it was a little heavily overtuned. But going back to, like I said, this whole content creator thing, Nick Mercs and Swag voiced their displeasure to it. And I know even like a couple of other content creators that were really just not happy with the results of how things played out with the Cold War Beta. Another particular content creator that I really, really follow and I really, really enjoy his content, but IMX Spell, also voiced his displeasure a little while ago about how he felt the beta played out. He just really didn't like the look and the feel of it. And it just overall, it really didn't feel like a Call of Duty game to him. So hopefully Activision and Treyarch hear these words, and I hope they take it to heart, and I hope that they're hard at work, working in the background to kind of fix these things and make sure that that they're delivering a really, really fun experience. Because a lot of people were looking forward to this, because I know that Modern Warfare has definitely had its issues, and it still has its issues, but it still feels fun. I mean, that being said, like especially with the new event that's coming out, with today being October 19th, as of October 20th, a lot of people have heard that Modern Warfare is going to be releasing a new event, which is basically a zombie event. There's going to be nighttime mode in it. There's going to be zombies in it, and maybe a couple of other surprises as well. Of what exactly we'll see, I'm not too sure, but hopefully we'll see what happens there. But yeah, like I said, ultimately there's a lot of things that I think Treyarch could be doing better in this game to make it feel a little bit better, to make it sound a little bit better, to make it make it customized a little bit better as well. Like I said, especially when it comes to all the guns and their attachments. Making the guns need to feel more unique. And like I said, I think that's one of the big problems that a lot of people had, is that the guns don't feel unique. Like I said, with all the same attachments and things like that. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. The game modes themselves, I hope they release more, and I hope they give us a chance to kind of beta test them as well. Like, I'd like to beta test their zombies mode. I know a lot of people are super stoked to give this game mode a try. That's something that they really, really want. Warzone, I'd like to see what Treyarch's interpretation of Warzone is going to be like, and how it ties in to Modern Warfare Warzone, and how these two are going to be able to coexist in the Battle Royale world. Where they said that, like, even if you have Modern Warfare Warzone, you'll be able to play, Cold War Warzone, that sort of thing. And how a lot of the stuff is going to be able to tie together. So anything that you've earned in Modern Warfare Warzone is going to be able to be usable in Cold War Warzone. So that's something I would like to see. I would like to see the campaign mode as well. I mean, not a lot of people really, really enjoy the single player aspect of these games, whereas I do. I'm a sucker for the single player gameplay. I absolutely fell in love with the story from the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3. Absolutely love the story. One of my favorite things about it. Black Ops came out, and I was pretty enamored with the story too, from the first one. Sadly, I never really did get to play Black Ops 2 or 3, although if I do have the chance to play them, I absolutely would, just so I can, play the campaigns and get familiar with the story. I was really, really disappointed that Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign mode for it. It was just the zombies, it was just the Battle Royale. So things like that kind of soured my taste for Black Ops a little bit, so I was a little apprehensive about getting into Black Ops Cold War. But even though I do have my reservations about Cold War, still gonna get it. I think it'll be a fun game, provided that they make improvements to it. And I'd be remiss to think that a company like Activision or Treyarch wouldn't make improvements to it, but then again, I've been wrong before. So it's just one of those things. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I think that the game does have a lot of potential. So with that, I think this is exactly where I'm going to sign off. I think I've said everything I need to say. And I've kind of touched a little bit on how other streamers and how other content creators feel about the game. So yeah, no, I think this will be a perfect spot to sign it off here, guys. Take what you will from this. Buy it, don't buy it. I will leave that entirely up to you guys. Me personally, I still find it to be a fun game. It just needs some work. It needs some polish to it, and hopefully better customization altogether. So I really, really hope they make those changes. We'll see in the near future. Hopefully, like I said, they'll get some more beta testing for their player base to do, and we'll see how it goes. So, all right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very, very much for watching the video. Once again, if you like what you saw here, I do absolutely implore you to, guys, to drop the video a like, and make sure that you do subscribe and turn on those notifications, because that's important, because that lets you know exactly when I drop new videos. Hopefully you guys found this particular video to be informative and insightful, and maybe hopefully it kind of give you guys a pretty good idea of what to expect with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I think that they're doing right. I think there's a lot of things that they need to fix to make it right, but ultimately it's up to you guys whether or not you want to buy the game. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the war zone, whether it be through Modern Warfare, whether it be through Black Ops. Hopefully we'll see you in the lobbies in Black Ops. Like I said, I'll probably still get it. It still feels fun to me, despite the changes that I think that they need to make. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed the video. Hopefully we'll see you guys over in the next one. And until next time, guys. Ready, aim, fire.